I guess I'm just a sick bastard. One sandwich short of a full picnic basket. One Excedrin tablet short of a full medicine cabinet. This is Mark Bell from SuperTraining.tv, Super Training Gym, the strongest gym in the West. I have a very spatial coffee recipe to share with you guys today. This is something I've been doing for many years. Spatial, by the way, is the way they talk down there in Kentucky, where my boy Brandon Lilly's from. Paint Lick, to be exact. And this is my normal attire in the morning when I make these shakes and when I do these kinds of things. You need a hat, and you need some sort of like underwear or something, and no t-shirt for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it's just white trash. I'm not sure. But I'm going to go over it with you step by step because it's a little bit more complicated than you might think. So enjoy the footage. So let me share with you some of the ingredients we got here. This is glutamine, but I also have in here is probiotics. And I keep this in the refrigerator because that's where the probiotics were when I bought them. So I mix probiotics and glutamine. Because a lot of times I do a lot of weird stuff. I just like to mix a lot of stuff together so that way I'm not reaching into 90 million different things at one time. Oh, what's this over here? Ah, Becoming a Supple Leopard by Kelly Starrett. Let's see what we got going on in here. By the way, just a quick plug here with the Kelly Starrett book. This book is fantastic. Has tons and tons of information on mobility, injury prevention, and how to get rid of some injuries that you may have. And look here what we got here. There's Mr. Starrett. Now, I'm not pointing out to the fact that he's balding. I'm pointing out to the fact that he has a slingshot on. Look at that. So he goes over a lot of technique. There's a lot of stuff in here, including the ever so popular and handsome Jesse Burdick. Right there. But it gives you a lot of information on how to protect the knee, how to stretch the hips, how to get rid of what Kelly refers to as sliding surface injuries. And if you're somebody who is doing squats and deadlifts, bench presses, you can see all the information here with the voodoo bands. The book is about $60, but it's at least a 2 boards worth of information for all you powerlifters out there that don't know what's going on. It's got a ton of information. You can always be cheap, and you can always go to mobilitywod.com and look up all the free stuff that he has as well. But highly recommend this book. Outstanding book. Congratulations, Mr. Starrett. So we have the glutamine, babushki. We have the heavy whipping cream. Now let me show you how to use heavy whipping cream properly. So you don't, geez Louise, it's hard to do with one hand. But so what I do with heavy whipping cream, if I go to Starbucks, I don't even bother getting it anymore because they give me way too much and I'm going to weigh 9 million pounds. So what I do is I look at the bottom of the cup and I basically just fill the bottom of the cup until it's completely covered with heavy whipping cream and then give it a little extra dab on top of that. A lot of times these shakes are made for a few servings. So this might be about a 3-banger worth of servings. I use this protein right here, Hydro Whey, from a company called Muscle Whiz. This is a whey protein, or hydrolyzed whey protein that is just loaded. You can't really see it too good on the camera here, but it's just loaded with branched chain amino acids, no lactose, gluten-free, great product, very high quality. That product actually has replaced my Isopure that I used to drink all the time. So now, we also have ProPeptide. This is fantastic. This actually has probiotics in it as well. All things to help your gut heal up. They're both chocolate, as you can see here. And then this bucket right here, this giant bucket that I had, is something I've had for years. And it's basically I always keep it because it's got the huge top on it, and I don't have to wiggle my hand into something small. You can see how fat my freaking hand is. So we got a shaker cup here. We got everything here. I'm going to start to mix this up. And then you'll see how I put it into the coffee. Okay, I'm going to try to film this the best I can. Here we go. We got scoops of hydrolyzed whey protein going in. We'll do about 2 scoops of this. 1, 2. Sorry if I shot my armpit right there. But just a full scoop, full serving. Bam, there's 60 grams of protein, about 30 per scoop. And then we're going to go with the CNP ProPeptide. ProPeptide is a slower digesting protein. It's egg protein and casein protein. It mixes up a little bit thicker, so it adds a little bit of fullness to the shake, rather than it just be the hydrolyzed way, which will, boom, mix up instantly and be almost watery, which I like. But it's nice to also add a little bit of thickness, a little bit of cakiness to the drink, so that you're not not just gulping it down so quickly. So I add the glutamine to it, and I also added water, and now I'm just going to shake her up. Make sure you shake her up real good. Now this is to create kind of more of like a creamer. This isn't my normal shake that I have when I go to Starbucks. If I go to Starbucks, all I do is I take a cup like this, dry. Always make sure the bottom is dry. If it's wet, you're going to be screwed and have a bunch of clumpy shit at the bottom. I take a shaker cup like that with about 60 grams of protein, and then I just simply order an iced coffee from Starbucks. I mix the coffee into the shaker cup, as much of the coffee as I can get in there. I shake it up, and then I go cognito style, and I pour the stuff that's in the shaker cup back into the Starbucks cup, and so now I'm walking around like a normal dude with the Starbucks cup that now has 60 grams of protein in it. So that's the way I do it when I go there, but when I'm home, I do it differently. My coffee tastes differently at home. It's not nearly as good, but I make what I call kind of like a creamer for it. So this isn't going to add nearly as many grams of protein to it, but it's going to add healthy fats and some other stuff to it. So let's go over here. You can see my cabinet of some suppies in the background. Got all kinds of stuff in there. Lots of vitamin D3, multivitamins, lots of stuff. So now what I'm going to do is I have this little pod guy over here. It's a nasty looking hand, isn't it? This guy here. And I usually use about 2 or 3 of these suckers. Dark magic. I put that in there. Brew her up. And now here comes some of the key factors, some of the more complicated things that happen here. Got coconut oil, right? Ka-bing! Coconut oil is a medium-chain triglyceride. It's a fast-acting fat that you can utilize as energy. And this cannot go into the cold product here. It cannot go into the protein, which is cold. It has to go into the coffee, which is hot. And the reason for that is you want it to melt. You don't want it to be just a lumpy thing of crap. And you don't want a lump of coconut oil while you're trying to drink your coffee. Trust me, that's pretty gross. There's another product here called Cocoa Bliss that I use sometimes, which will turn your coffee into a fabulous mocha bursting coffee, which is just awesome. So Cocoa Bliss is a combination of cocoa and coconut oil. Coconut butter too, I think. And then we got cinnamon, pushka, which has been proven to be a glucose disposal agent, which helps you shuttle glucose into the muscle cells rather than into the fat cells. How much cinnamon do you need to do that? I don't know, but I take it every day, and I try to throw it into as many things as I can. How effective is it? I have no clue. It's just something I heard, so it's just something I've been doing for the last 10 years or so. So now we got the coffee going. I'll switch the camera around so you can kind of see what else is going on here. Alright, so now we got a nice giant scoop of coconut oil. Look how gross that looks. Coconut oil is very strange. It's a saturated fat, and it looks this way when it's at room temperature or colder. But it will melt in there, trust me, at some point. Then we'll dab some cinnamon in there. We'll throw a little bit of Cocoa Bliss in there, again, to add a little bit of flavor. Chocolate is good for you. It's an antioxidant, very powerful one at that. And then we're going to reshape the protein. And I usually leave this protein in the fridge, so it's not that big of a process. Not as big of a process as what I'm showing you here. So I'll just dump this in to whatever amount I want. And bam, look at how disgusting that looks. Isn't that awesome? But that will melt, and it won't look as gross in a little bit. Hopefully you learned how to make the Jacked and Tan, not the Black and Tan, but the Jacked and Tan coffee from Mark Smelly Bell. And now you can be buzzing and be jacked all at the same time. And that is it from supertraining.tv.